It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Cards and the Bears, next on EA Sports.
Well, they say an early season snowstorm may be on deck in less than 48 hours, but today is picture-perfect fall football weather. Crisp and cool at Soldier Field in the Windy City. This was the scene a moment ago as the Bears emerged from their tunnel. Ready for football are they, and ready for football are we as the Bears get set to match up with the Arizona Cardinals. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, CD, you look at the Cardinals in this matchup. Their offense is one that doesn't rely too heavily on just one guy. They like to spread things around as best they can.
You're right about that. It's a diverse unit, and they like to run their offense by what they call game plan, meaning each and every week they study the opponent, they probe its weaknesses, and they move the ball around that way. They emphasize who's going to get it based on what they think they'll accomplish in that game. Other teams, they're a system team. They're going to run what they run no matter what. I like this style of offense. It suits them well.
Here's Cairo Santos now ready to get this one started. And off we go from Soldier Field. And the opening kickoff will not be returned as that will be a touchback. Arizona Cardinals offense coming out here for the first time, and you get a peek at Kyler Murray, the dangerous offensive weapon now in his third season in the National Football League.
And when you have a guy like Kyler Murray under center, it not only opens up your playbook, it allows you to draw up even more plays because he's among the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the league and a true playmaker. If flushed out of the pocket, he might even be more dangerous. The next step for him, being able to throw on rhythm and deliver from the pocket.
First carry for James Conner. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. Now Murray. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Murray now on first down. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. It'll be an Arizona first down on a gain of 17. cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Meanwhile, Murray's throw pulled in by Hopkins. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already into field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. On 1st and 10 is counter. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Murray getting this complete to counter. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing,
nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. It's Khalil Mack that time, shooting in there to get him to the ground.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the Cardinals have the first points. It's 3-0. So the opening drive does yield points. Maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This is Jakeem Grant. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. For the first time, here comes the Chicago Bear offense, led out by the veteran in his first season in Chicago, but 11th overall, the Red Rifle Andy Dalton.
I love his football IQ. I love his ability to have people rally around him. And as he likes to remind me all the time when I get ready to call one of his games, I can run it a little bit too. A nice presence to have on your team.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Handoff comes to Montgomery. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on third down. Dalton. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So on fourth down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. There's the stiff arm. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Murray escaping the pressure right. Murray has the first down and more. And he'll even avoid the contact in the end as he will finally slide to a halt. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Cardinal football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Finding room to the 20, and he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line. And between the last 2 plays, they've moved it over half the length of the football field. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield, and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Murray to throw on 3rd and 1. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. The sack by Robert Quinn. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Prater's kick is good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So scores on their first two possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They are still in search of their first points of the ball game, but only down 6-0 as they begin with a first down. Dalton now to pass. Going for the deep ball. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 39 yards there, a big one.
This offense has been slow to get started, but that play will certainly give them a little bit of life. Maybe the late wake-up call that they had been seeking.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Dalton here from the gun. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Andy Dalton. And that will be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
So the long field goal misses, and now the reverse. You're in a tough spot defensively. They'll start the drive at the 43. They fake the handoff. Now Murray. And the reception made by Green. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Throwing again on second down. Murray. That's going to be caught by Kirk. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line.
Illegal touching. Offense.
Yeah, that's what I do.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for third down. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
On fourth down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to get going again. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times, isn't there? How much better would they feel running into the locker room, as you noted, with something on the board in a positive fashion? You're exactly right. It's a great opportunity to get that done.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old school defense right now. The new school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Dalton. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as he'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Dalton. Kyler Murray going to lead the Cardinals back out on offense. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Here's Murray. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
To throw again on 2nd down, Murray. Flush to his right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. Murray now. And this is Hurts with it, right side. No gain there on the completion. It'll be second down. If you're going to pass down here, you better get that in the end zone.
I agree with you totally, and as we both know, the field's already condensed. There's just not a lot of space, so you've got to create some by getting some people downfield into the end zone. If you want to throw it short, you've got to have some movement, some room in order to do that. That one didn't work.
On second and goal, Murray. Forced out to his left. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Kyler Murray, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead.
Partner, to me, that touchdown had something that was kind of rooted in that group seeing the future. And what I mean by that is they had a plan. Let's find a way to score right here before the half. And that'll give us momentum going into the second half. Give us that cushion that we're looking for. They got that accomplished, scoring right before the half ended.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. And he's got it to make it now 13-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the play that polished it off was the touchdown run by Kyler Murray. And after the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Grant, he will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25. David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Now Dalton. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Passing, it's Dalton. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. So Dalton now. This one swung out to Montgomery. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And again, Andy Dalton to throw. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
2nd and 10.
6-man. Check girls, check girls.
To throw here, Dalton. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Now, they tried to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Dalton. Man open is Robinson. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Cardinals out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Arizona. And despite the big lead, they really did next to nothing throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage. We'll see how aggressive they want to be going forward. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bears going to see the football first, and they trail here as we get back underway to start this second half. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
First and 10 for Dalton. That's complete to Mooney. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Boom! Big hits all day.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
3 down, 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down.
Running left, Montgomery. There's a nice move. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
3 down.
Montgomery. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
On 2nd down, Montgomery looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Steps away to his left. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A rough go there on third down, a loss of 4.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the third quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Way to go.
So the missed 56-yarder, and now the flip side. Good starting field position at the 46 near midfield. Throwing on first down is Murray. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides, and there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Glad you're with us from Soldier Field in Chicago. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard.
And if you're keeping an eye on the box score, that last run puts him over the 100-yard mark for the game. And this defense has just had all sorts of trouble trying to keep him under wraps, both passing and running.
They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal first down.
And there's James Conner with a run that gets everyone's attention. He joined the Arizona Cardinals after 4 years in Pittsburgh, and his best year with the Steelers, 2018, named a Pro Bowler after a 973-yard, 13-touchdown campaign. Mixed results the last couple of years as he's been in and out of the lineup, but with consistency, he can still be an effective runner.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Connor. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Here's Connor on the read option. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They need to get this to the 24 on third down. Murray now to throw. And caught, right side, Green. Touchdown, Cardinals. A.J. Green, 31 yards. And the Cardinals will extend their lead.
And that's a drive that makes everyone happy on that bench because they accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Take care of the football, eat up a little clock, end up in the end zone. Now they've got a cushion for the rest of the game. So they didn't just help themselves offensively, they helped their defense out as well.
Cliff Kingsbury going to decide here to leave the offense out and go for 2. It appears they're going to throw for it with Murray. It's complete, and he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there. You've given yourself a chance. You're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the posts. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
From the 29, Dalton. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Marcus Golden, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. The Bears on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 16. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Toward the sideline, did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down. Touchdown, Bears! Well, we know that he can beat you in a number of ways. He can catch it short, he can take it long, or he can do what we just saw right there, catch it and then run with the football.
And I caught a quick glimpse of him before the ball was snapped, and there was something about his body language where you could tell early in this play he wasn't just thinking first down. He was thinking end zone, and he got there.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage he was able to tack on after the catch. Santos with the extra point, and they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And Moore, he's going to sit on this one, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Throwing now is Murray. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
You ain't gonna burn me. This is our time.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Murray. Dancing to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting this sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. And they'll run the option on 3rd and short yardage. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The decision to keep it turns out to be a good one. 11 yards in the first down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. Murray now on 1st down. And that's complete. It's Green here. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Murray's throw here complete into the hands of Ertz. And he's taken down inside the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. They'll run on 1st down. Connor, and he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Connor going to get it again on 2nd down. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A good chunk on the ground on the keeper. 17 yards, first down. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. They'll look to run with Conner, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. James Conner able to take this in from a yard out. And the Cardinals have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Extra point good by Prater, and that will make this a 19-point game. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was a touchdown run by James Conner that was the exclamation mark. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Jakeem Grant now to return. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Chicago offense set to get started. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Andy Dalton. Flushed out right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing, Dalton. That is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. And Dalton to throw. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And boy, possession here turns over with a football already being in the red zone. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Murray a give. This is Connor. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
Connor going to get it again on 2nd down. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Now Murray. And it's incomplete. Still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. So it's a win here for the Arizona Cardinals. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.